Dear investors, we could be at the cusp of a restart of a new multi-year capex cycle. The first part of this month's video would cover this. Uh, as we know, India was seeing subdued capex over the past few years, while the government continued to spend in nation building, yet corporate capex and household capex took a backseat. There are reasons to believe that this could reverse over the next few years. Point one, corporate India and banks on the other side are in good health. The economic recovery from COVID has been sharp. So economy is in good health, giving confidence to people to start to spend on capacity expansions. A period of consolidation of businesses on account of structural reforms such as GST, RERA, etc., and on account of COVID itself has occurred. We have seen a very sharp move away from unorganized towards organized, and that further improves the cause for new capex from the beneficiaries of such a move. Newer areas of businesses are emerging in spaces like clean tech, and the policy direction is clear. So this is a big positive. People invest for long period, and policy does play a big role. Clarity there definitely helps. And we believe this has set the stage for re-emergence of the corporate capex cycle. The financiers of the same, the banks are in good health. Gross NPAs of banks have peaked. In spite of COVID-related disruptions, bad assets are down and are at 2004 levels. We remember that 2003 to 2007 was one such capex cycle, and if banks are in good health, this could be another one. Initiatives like Bad Bank is helping the bank management focus on lending, their core job. And we do believe, focus on lending should improve and overall credit growth should improve going forward. Corporate profitability is now much higher and leverage is lower. Buoyant equity markets are allowing corporates to raise equity and reduce balance sheet stress and de facto, encouraging risk taking. On the private household capex side, homes are a large part of capex. Here again, it seems like this part has bottomed out. Home loan rates are at all-time low, and home affordability, price in relation to the earnings level is at a multi-year high. Already home sales are picking up and inventory is reducing. We are witnessing new launches accelerating. Once again, if home sales move up, a lot of associated industries, which ultimately go into making a whole home, should have a good outlook as well and provide a good multiplier effect to the economy. COVID issues are getting addressed. GST collections are buoyant and already point to the economy being at higher than pre-COVID levels. Government has been focused on resolving the issues of the industry. The country is witnessing one of the strongest pro-industry reform momentum in the present, and several issues which have been plaguing the industry have been resolved in the past period, and incentives such as production linked incentives have been extended to ensure competitiveness. This again helps capex sentiment. Like we said before, government capex remains strong, but now all the three engines, private sector and household, could see acceleration going forward. This should reverse the trend of growth in gross capital formation over the next few years for the better, and provide further tailwinds to the economic growth and make growth sustain for longer. At the same time, coming down to the second topic, as we speak, we sense that commodity supply and logistic issues are getting sorted. So while the last period saw commodity prices spiking across the board, be it chemicals, be it metals, we do believe there are signs of this getting sorted out and maybe the prices having peaked. The last period had seen continued supply disruptions. Now, the change is that China, which was seen as reducing fossil fuel burning, and hence controlling the production of energy-hungry metals and other products, is now reversing its stand. This could improve supplies. In India, also some stress was seen in coal supplies with coal at power projects. Several power projects reported to have been down to like 3 to 4 days. Now, government has focused there in India. Once again, coal supplies which were low are now getting prioritized and augmented. Power units which were working on imported coal have been asked to work at higher PLFs. Traded power volumes have shot up. Now, the shortage kind of a situation, the prospects of a shortage kind of a situation actually has resulted in the whole space doing well in the equity markets. It helped that many of the names were cheap to start with, but then we must caution that not all entities that have participated in the strong up move would see lasting benefits. In the end, this is a utility space where returns are the economic returns for businesses are kind of capped. Already, the power situation is improving in India and elsewhere. China, where the issue first started, and commodities or production cut, is also seeking normalization of the same. And senses they are actually no longer restricting fossil fuel burning for power generation and growth. And hence our belief is the commodity pack, metals and chemicals, which saw strong price move in the past period, could see lower investor interest going forward. We have been talking of unsustainably high commodity price levels in the past periods as well. And we continue to believe that from current levels, prices of industrial commodities have a good chance of softening, especially if China does scale up its capacity utilization. Commodities should also soften as global logistic bottlenecks get sorted, the evidence of which is already there. Coming down to the third topic, once again feeding into the capex part of it, strong fundraise market. Capital markets have been buoyant, and this has encouraged companies to raise record amounts from the market. Already in H1 financial 22, we have seen 12 billion or thereabouts of equity issuance. And over the next half, we could see more, 15 to 20 billion could be expected. And this could continue, especially if the strength of the economy and markets continue in financial 23 as well. Another point is, while the amounts are higher, net amounts raised as a percentage of market cap, well, we have seen higher numbers on that. And it does mean that markets should be able to absorb the issuance, especially with positive policy moves. But that said, this is something which would sterilize secondary market flows, and one should expect the markets to continue to be range bound, something that we spoke about last period also. While to our minds, from the peak valuations which we saw in the pre-COVID period, valuations have corrected and actually are quite sustainable. Coming down to the last part of this video, few thoughts on taper on Q2 result season, which has started and is gaining momentum as we speak, and valuations. Taper is around the corner. There are indications that it could begin in the month of November. While the bond buying would reduce, but interest rates would take more time to go up. That is the understanding as of now. While this could induce short period volatility in the Indian market, I continue to believe that we are much better prepared versus last time. In any case, I believe that our markets are more impacted by the happenings in our country itself versus global money flows. In the past period, events in our country such as demonetization, GST and banking NPAs impacted us more than taper. Yes, taper could impact currency. It could weaken. It has weakened from 73 odd levels to 75. However, we argue that small currency weakening, gives a margin fillip to Indian business, and a market driven primarily by domestic money should see this as a positive. Now, this is a change. Earlier, Indian markets were driven by offshore flows, which are very, very sensitive to exchange rates, but the domestic money is not. At the same time, inclusion in global bond indices, which some sources indicate to be around the corner, should address many of the taper-related pains. So we do believe this time around, taper would create lesser issues than in the past. On Q2 result season, the first few big company results are in, and we have seen markets rewarding better than expected results reasonably strongly, while a miss versus expectation is also punished quite strongly. It to me implies that if the earnings outlook remains strong, markets have a good chance of sustaining current levels and moving up with earnings. It should help at the margin that user industry, which has been impacted by strong commodity prices in the past quarter, should see improved outlook going forward as commodity prices soften. On valuations, we continue to believe that market levels are sustainable. We have said this many a times. A combination of strong growth in the EPS seen in financial 21, expected in financial 22, and aided by a lower discount rate is making this happen. We have seen a 15% expansion in 21 over 20 and expect to see around 35% in financial 22 over 21 and followed by another 15% next year. So if we see in total as we go towards the end of the year, overall the market would have digested 65% earning expansion. Versus that, we are up 50% from the pre-COVID peak, implying that there is some amount of correction that's occurred on account of earnings themselves. On top of that, as we have noted in our past videos, we have seen interest rates reduce by over 1%. And when that happens, the value of the same businesses expand. The value of a theoretical business that we have given out as an example expands by around 20% by that effect. And this is something which is making valuations very, very sustainable. The cheapness should take care of any increase in bond yields on tapers. However, I must say it assumes continued earning momentum, and we need to remain watchful on that. In terms of spaces where we were looking for ideas, we made a case on capex. While capex is expected to improve going forward. The older capex players are difficult to invest into. And this is what is listed in the markets. Large capex used to be coal-based power equipment producers and maybe their ecosystem. Now there is a shift in the regime, and renewable energy is finding favor. In new spaces, listed opportunities are scarce, while some of the MNC companies in this space do offer exposure to newer spaces and have relevant technologies, but maybe the valuations there already reflect the same. I believe so. Hence, our CapEx exposure in the portfolio is built through exposure to names like steel structural businesses, pipes, and wire manufacturers, and of course, cement players. I continue to believe in the end that focus on quality and stock valuations is a must at this juncture of the market. Like last time, continue to reiterate and expect markets to consolidate given the coming taper and large IPO pipeline while valuations are defendable. And clearly, commodity space should be avoided. Thank you and happy investing.